Among the most famous aircraft of World War II, the heavy bomber known as the B-17.
But there are only 14 B-17s still flying today, and one of them is in Sacramento this weekend. Jonathan Baum takes us for a flight in high definition in this week's California Postcard.
It's the World War II aircraft everyone knows, the B-17 bomber, or Flying Fortress.
There were 12,731 B-17s built. This is the most recently restored one.
Named the Liberty Bell after a plane that saw more than its share of action, this B-17 flew into Sacramento to honor Iris Taggart and her late husband Robert Taggart, who flew the original Liberty Bell on a single mission in 1945.
They were just about 10 to 15 minutes away before they were to drop their bombs that particular day when they developed engine trouble. They lost an engine, aborted, and went back to Framingham, and 9 of the B-17s were shot down that day.
Tagg would go on to fly another 32 missions in another plane. This plane tours across the country, giving veterans like former Lieutenant Colonel Les Stilwell a chance to revisit their past.
It's a fond reminiscence. I have a fond affection for the airplane. It flew very well on 2 engines.
We're actually hoping all 4 take us on this particular flight. 81-year-old Iris among the passengers.
Guys that flew these were like 19 and 20-year-old, not my age.
And of course, we're really excited to be here and be with Iris Taggart this weekend. She's a great lady, and she was, her husband Tagg was one of the more popular pilots in the 390th Bomb Group.
Don Brooks runs the Liberty Foundation, which owns the Liberty Bell. He too has a connection to the original plane. His dad, Elton, was the tail gunner. So what's it like to co-pilot the type of plane his dad spent the war in?
And that means a lot. I think he might question my sanity, you know, if he were here. But
during the war, B-17s routinely flew above 20,000 feet with unpressurized cabins at 50 to 60 degrees below zero. The crew wore flight suits and oxygen masks. Since we're not going up quite that high, pilot Ray Fowler can provide a little extra view.
How's a little air in here, but you guys can stand up there and look outside, okay?
Okay.
Well, I tell you what, growing up, I always wonder what kind of view my dad had when he flew in these things during World War II. And now I understand.
Minus the anti-aircraft fire, of course. This Liberty Bell was built at the end of the war and never saw combat. Don acquired it at the end of a 14-year restoration project, naming it in honor of his father's plane. And how is it to fly a B-17?
they'll make you look bad sometimes, but they won't hardly ever hurt you, you know, so they're great airplanes.
So what do you think, Iris?
Doesn't get any better than this.
Somewhere above Mather Field, Jonathan Baum, News 10.
Wow. The Liberty Bell will be at Atlantic Aviation at Sacramento's Mather Airport off Highway 50 this weekend, offering rides if you want to take one for $430, but just coming out to take a look at that beauty is absolutely free. For more information, you can log on to news10.net.